Jesus warned us about being too religious. So going through and saying he made us man and women.
It's not a religious.
Like,
it's not religious.
I cannot even believe you said that.
Biological reality.
I think we were talking a little bit about feminism. So you guys, feminists, right? What if I told you that feminism is not actually about equality? Agree, disagree?
It's about awareness.
Awareness.
I would
Wait, did Madison dip?
I think she went to the bathroom maybe.
Okay.
But I would like to hear what you think feminism is, or what your because I took my definition straight from the dictionary. At least from what I remember.
Yeah.
It could have changed now. They like to change definitions now.
Yeah. I mean, I think the most charitable definition that I could give feminism is, it's not, again, this is the most charitable definition I give it. It's not an equality movement, it's a women's advocacy movement. And there's nothing wrong with women's advocacy, but to try to paint feminism as seeking true equality. See, feminists don't fight for equality if said equality does not come at the benefit of women. If there is no benefit to be reaped by a form of equality, feminists will not fight for it. Therefore, it is not a true equality movement, because if there was a form of equality that would, in some conceivable way, come to the detriment of women, but equalize the genders, for example, military conscription, feminists will not fight for it. Even if you're granted equality, for example, with if you equalized military conscription to the point where both men and women had to register for the selective service, had to, if they both had to be conscripted in wartime, that would be equality. But it's the case in today, women were able to secure the vote without having the corresponding responsibility of being conscripted into war. So, and even to this day, women are not subject to military conscription in the US and the vast majority of Western countries where we have feminist movements and where we otherwise have equality between the sexes.
So from like my definition of feminism, like I cited, like the belief that men and women are equal, and I kind of take like your version of it. I mean, I know you're not a feminist, but like we are equal in value. We are not equal in like. We're just not equal. Like we can't. It's comparing apples to oranges. It's like two completely different things. So that's kind of where I see it, and I don't know. It's taken. Since I've kind of switched political leanings, it's taken me a while to kind of like reclaim the term feminist, because like I do just believe in that, like we are equal in value, and I think that's like important. And it goes into a whole bunch of other different definitions. I guess everybody interprets it differently, but like that's my belief of like what true feminism is.
I think another aspect of feminism that really bothers me is this obsessive culture of making women go into work and encouraging women to work, which I'm a huge fan of. Like I love I think we're all corporate Americans queen, and we should pursue our dreams and our career, but not at the expense of your family. And so they're leading women into this corporate life that's so unfulfilling, and it's just like honestly buying into this whole capitalist system where you're just sitting at your desk all day and you leave behind no legacy and you have no family and there's no fulfillment. And as someone who works and also has a daughter, I will tell you every day of the week, every second of the day, being a mom is way more fulfilling and important to me than whatever career is happening. And that doesn't say that you can't be passionate about your career, but I think there is no focus on that with women. Instead, it's go into the corporate machine, work all day, freeze your eggs, we'll pay for your abortion. And I think that's so toxic and detrimental to women.
I think that I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but we also have to always acknowledge that that's a luxury that so many women don't have. And so like in this time where a lot of women do need to work and they don't have the luxury of, getting to spend that time like with their children in that way, that feminism, there's aspects of feminism that do benefit women, just like there's aspects of feminism that might hurt women and hurt men. The same way there's aspects of masculinity in this modern movement that are positive, but there's also aspects that hurt men and hurt women. And I think it's on both sides. It's not like who's to blame. Is feminism to blame? Is masculinity to blame? But I think there's issues on both sides.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I don't think it's like a one size fits all. Oh my gosh, feminism is the only thing that's ever gone wrong. I think it's the breakdown of traditional gender roles in the family. I think there's a reason why this existed throughout history and has been successful. And I think there's this attitude with people nowadays where they think that everyone that came before us is stupid and we're going to create this whole new world. And I think we can learn from people of the past and their successes and like what created happiness and what created fulfillment. And like I said, my whole thing is I think feminism is very counterproductive to women. And like even going into a whole nother aspect of this, like when I see actual civil rights deterioration for women, which is what feminism should stand up for, like the gender movement that now is allowing men to basically become women just because they like stereotypically feminine things, putting on dresses and heels, and now they're invading our sports teams, our locker rooms. Like these are civil rights that we've fought for and now are being eroded by men. And then I rarely see feminists standing up against that. And like men are taking our championships, our titles, they're competing in our sports. And like Title IX, we fought really hard. Like feminists fought hard for that.
What's that?
I agree.
Well, like, to be real, that's so, like, Jesus Christ. I feel like how does that have anything to do with feminism? When we come to feminism, it's just kind of about going to the places where, like, women are kind of considered not equal to men, where women should be equal to men. Like, I feel like it was all about wages. And then people drag it. I mean, it was about wages,
feminism.
and it was about wages, and then it kind of got dragged into getting bigger about what gender roles and like.
So,
but it was feminism was of course in the name created to protect women. But then like to go for it and say that men are just choosing. I mean, like you don't understand like the chemical makeup of people and their hormones or their hormone imbalances and like what happens in the body is so organic. Like you can't tell me that there's enough science to prove that. That's just so
that an XX chromosome is female and XY is male.
Yeah. But like, who cares? Like everything that is female and male.
Men are coming in and taking away civil rights achievements that we've
or
won
coming
over
into
times.
my prisons.
And raping women in prison.
Well, men aren't coming into.
Yes, they are.
They are.
Yes,
they 100%
they're winning
are.
Our championships.
Look into Washington State prisons.
They're.
Raping
women
in prison.
Wait, hold on.
I'm so sorry. I keep saying the R word.
Are you saying?
I like cannot. Sorry, I'll let you talk, but I cannot condone
rape.
Like just saying that men are coming into our life as women when transgender women experience so much abuse.
All right, we're not talking
women
about that. But basically, what you're saying is that men,
like who,
are better women than women. Is what you're saying? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
My whole thing is that feminism is not protecting women in this day and age, and the actual erosion of our civil rights that I'm seeing unfolding through the gender movement. There's very few feminists that stand up against that.
Yeah, the patriarchy wins again.
Yeah, exactly. I just find the entire movement overall extremely counterproductive for women and very toxic.
But do you think that means that we just have to? You can't just like eliminate the idea that like there is that movement going on for like people who are transgender to do things like sports. Like we can't deny that that's happening. So if it's, I feel like it can't just be that we either accept that or we don't. But what about finding solutions that everybody can agree with? Do you think that that's possible? That's supportive of everybody, that everyone would be comfortable with?
I have extreme compassion and empathy for people who struggle with gender dysphoria and that they do not like the bodies that they're in. I have extreme empathy and compassion for that, but that just because someone feels that way does not mean it's true. If an anorexic person is telling you that they hate their body, they look in the mirror every day and they're like, I'm fat, a doctor does not just prescribe them diet pills. It's the same way. We should be teaching people that the body we're born in is the right body. God does not make mistakes. You have a beautiful body and you should embrace that and you should love yourself for who you are. And regardless, you can't biologically and physically transition into a different gender. And so, like I said, I have extreme compassion.
You think Jesus really cares about whether or not you're transitioning? Is there one time in the Bible where Jesus
Many times. He made them men and women.
Where did Jesus say that? Jesus came to forgive and spread love, like for
Jesus died for our sins to live in his honor.
And Jesus died for our sins for so much. There's nowhere in the Bible where Jesus said
what happened to dating?
Yeah, but then Jesus warned us about being too religious. So going through and saying he made us man and women.
It's not a religious.
Like,
it's not religious.
I cannot even believe you said that.
Biological reality. It's women are born with XX chromosomes and they can have children, the bear pregnancy for the most part, and men are born with XY chromosomes, and they have complete different bone density, body structure. They have different sexual reproductive parts, it's reality. And so by leading people down this false road that they can actually change their gender when it's not physically or biologically impossible, I think is cruel and medical malpractice.
Oh my God.
No, I can say that.
Oh my God. Okay.
You know, a man maybe feeling feminine or feminine energy and them dressing up or whatever, that's fine. But I could say I do agree with you on the part where the medical part, because a man taking estrogen is like so just weakens their body and is really bad for them at the end of the day. And I personally don't know too much about it, so I can't say, but I would say medically is not really.
I'm fine with men liking traditionally feminine
you just said
because
that.
at the end of the day, most that fully like their bottom part do commit.
That's true. It's statistic.
They do.
You are statistically more likely after you transition.
I'm totally okay.
That's why I think the gender roles are
fucking bullshit. If anything, it's about gender roles. Like, what about, okay, so me being about a baby, woman, okay, whatever. Everything else about woman is a gender role.
Well,
fucking gender role.
Exactly,
and it's like, if you're gonna sit here and talk about people who genuinely struggle more than other people,
that is what's
because
ironic
that's how their emotions
Let's
feel.
not yell here.
This is what's
I'm
ironic.
not trying to scream at you, but it's just like, it just feels stupid to me to sit here and be like, okay, your body, you can be a woman and not touch your freaking I don't care. Like, my is a dick. I can say whatever the I can believe and have whatever the fuck I want. It's their words.
That's delusion.
What's ironic about transgenderism is
I'm not like my is a dick, but like my
the
vagina
exact gender roles
and whatever gender that associates
liberals
with is
are
my
fighting
choice.
against. So the whole thing is, if a man likes stereotypically feminine things, then he becomes a woman. That is cementing gender roles and saying, like, example, when I was little, I liked traditionally masculine things. I liked sports. I didn't want to wear a skirt. I wanted to wear shorts. That didn't make me any less of a woman. And so that's what I find so regressive about genderism, is that cementing archaic and stereotypical gender roles and telling people that they can be whoever they want to be, but that doesn't make them less of a man or less of a woman.
But I think also, if you're bringing, you brought God.
It matters because they're coming in, like I said,
They're
there's
coming in
civil
dying.
rights.
Okay.
Yeah,
people are dying.
and there's very high rates.
But also, I think it's important to acknowledge that you brought God into this conversation, and I completely respect, and I think a lot of people respect your right to practice your religion, to have your beliefs, but then you also have to respect someone's right to
these aren't my
disagree.
religious. I do have religious beliefs, but it's
a
aside from
projection
religious.
of religious
No,
beliefs
it's
as
not.
well.
It's a projection of what I believe is biological reality that's existed since the start of humankind.
But then if we're not talking about like how it's coming into like our sports and things like that, I'm saying there's other alternatives for compromise that I believe are possible. Maybe we haven't found them yet, but ways that we can all coexist peacefully.
Agreed.
And so, but to deny the experiences of people with gender,
I don't think she's denying anybody's experience. I think that she is just merely saying that this is a mental illness, and treat it as anything other than that is a disservice to those people.
Yes, it's
because
cruel.
you are telling them a delusion. You're filling into a delusion, and I know that there are some people who do experience gender dysphoria who do walk lighter in life after medical and social transition, but I think that for the majority of it, if we look at the statistics, and the only long-term study done, it's done
Eric,
in
can
Sweden.
you pull up S-Fond really quick? Can you pull up S-Fond? It's one of the Instagram tabs. Okay, guys, would you date this man? Don't show the follower count.
I literally...
Okay, so this is S-Fond. He's a classic Chad.